What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about Hologram. I want to go over some of the current data points, latest and updates, and everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So when it comes down to Hologram, over the last 5 days, it did go down 6.53%. So this is my weekly update. My apologies, I would have done it a little bit sooner, over the weekend more specifically, but things just kind of came up. But there was one actual big update that is obviously needing to be kind of talked about, and I don't know whether I need to applaud them or not, because one of my things I've hated about Hologram is the reliance on those short-term notes. And so those are 365-day notes. The actual principal does need to be paid back in cash, and then of course all the interest is payable through conversion, dilution. And that's one of the biggest things that's been damaging Hologram. I have so many people, countless people in my comments saying, hey, no, there is no dilution, you're wrong. I feel like lately people finally just stop arguing with me because they kind of are wrong. But nonetheless, though, there was a big thing that did come out, and that was this. So a F3. So it's a foreign, no different than an S3. So it's a shelf offering, good for 3 years, ultimately indicating that the company can dilute up to 300 million. For what they see as justified. So at the end of the day, this is good that they are kind of moving away from those short-term notes, which are extremely damaging to the stock price. So this is why I'm kind of torn. I don't know whether I need to applaud them that they're actually going a different avenue or not, because the reason why I say not is, like I said, dilution, there is a significant amount. Technically, the last disclosure was for the outstanding shares, 4.43 million. That was in April when they submitted their earnings. Aside from that, though, based on at the time of this prospectus, there was right now 14.1 million. So it jumped from pretty much in April to now in July, almost like 3x, or actually a little bit more than that. So for those of you that say that dilution is not occurring, you are completely wrong. And in my opinion, the reason why the stock price has not tanked based on this information is that people aren't really paying attention to it. Most retail investors, I can tell from my comments, just do not read the actual terms of the notes. And I'm sure 90% of you have not even looked at this. So they have been diluting a significant amount. Nothing really new. Obviously, I kind of mentioned that this is happening, but a couple of things to take note of based on this. So again, this shelf offering is kind of good only because there's no convertible aspect behind the scenes. So it's a different avenue, get some money that they can use to pay off a lot of those old notes that are going to be coming due. So this is something, again, I mentioned that they will be needing this week is money. And so they didn't go the note route, they went this. So again, that's kind of a positive thing, but there's some things I want to share with you. So this is something I've brought up in the past, again, coming from a investor standpoint and just a kind of logistics standpoint based on all their subsidiaries. If they wanted to hide cash, they could definitely easily do so. Some people, again, have argued with me on that. Of course, there's no way to prove it until it actually does happen. But from this recent F3, this disclaimer is something that needs to be kind of dinging in your head. So we are a Cayman Islands holding company and not a Chinese operating company. You are purchasing equity in a Cayman Island holding company and not our PRC operating subsidiaries. So going back over here, this is what you are buying. Technically something that has no assets. So for those of you that say, hey, like they are buying Bitcoin, hey, they have LiDAR technology, hey, we are doing quantum, which we haven't really heard too much about lately. Technically, you are not buying into those companies. This, in among itself, should be the biggest red flag to all investors. Of course, a lot of influencers won't really care about that because they don't care about retail. And to be fully fair, I don't care if you buy or sell. I'm not here to do that. My purpose is to bring awareness. There's been way too many fraudulent companies out there and retail getting screwed by them, and a lot of pumpers pumping those stocks up to count. There's just numerous amounts of them. So I wanted to add clarity, and this is why I started to cover Hologram. And unfortunately, I'm not all that popular because nobody wants to hear the truth. People want to hear, hey, Hologram is going to $100 next week, buy now. I can easily do those types of videos, get 50 times the amount of views that I get, but I don't do that because I want to kind of hopefully save some people some money. But nonetheless, again, if you wanted to buy, I could really care less. So that's the moral of the story. But this in among itself is a key point that you need to be aware of. So in times of insolvency, I know this might be very premature to talk on, but in times of insolvency, you will get nothing. You will not get 10 cents on the dollar, which is typically the average. You will get nothing. So just again, be aware of that. So this is why I kind of started the video saying that I don't know if I need to applaud them or not, because they are going a different route based on just the new F3, but behind the scenes there is a lot of dilution and there is a lot more to come. So most likely, as what's even stated, the authorized share count is 400 million. So that, in my opinion, is going to be hit probably by Q1 2026, most likely. That's again given everything and all the notes that they've done. So let me know your thoughts on this. I know this is a very big update based on the price action. It goes to show that people either are not reading this or they just don't really care. So again, let me know your general thoughts. Are you buying? And if so, why? Is it just because of greed? Do you believe in the company or whatever else? Or what's your kind of general thoughts on everything that I've stated? I know I bring up a lot of hot topics that people generally don't want to talk about or address, but it needs to be had and stated. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing though, pop over to my Patreon if you are looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.